to build, a team here, build some camaraderie, but also build our knowledge base so we can serve our customers better. Nava, did you want to say anything before we got started?
Just that I pushed the record button. So for those that couldn't make it, I know not everybody can be on, but I'm really excited for us to kind of team up together and really work through this. We all affect each other, and so I think it's important that we kind of go through these. So for some people, these things are going to be refreshers, and that's fine. For others, it's going to be totally new, but I think it's important, especially for support, to be committed to this process and then be vocal as we go through this. So if we find that certain things aren't working, that's a conversation we need to have so we can tailor training and kind of go through this university process as we need to. So Greg and I talked specifically about seeing the front end of what customers should see and how it should work, but also the back end and how we troubleshoot, tips and tricks, and how we address those kinds of things. So it's going to kind of be a combination, but I'm really excited that we're making this progress. So I'm glad everybody's here.
Awesome. Brian, did you have, I see your hand up.
Yep, just something real quick. Just wanted to say again, good morning to everyone, but also every one of you will welcome Favor. She's a new employee that starts today. This is her first kind of big meeting. So welcome to Favor, joining us as a data conversion specialist. So
hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Favor,
welcome, Favor.
Morning. Favor, we're super excited to have Favor. She's just, a phenomenal candidate. She's starting today, and we have another data conversion person starting at the end of the month. So we're really starting to flesh that team out, and I think that's going to kind of be a pressure valve release for us and for the whole company to have some more bandwidth in that department. So super excited to have you on board, Favor. And then just I wanted to highlight too, Carolyn has really been working through a lot of the documentation on some of these different modules and instructional tools for customers, especially on Sedona Office, uploading to Bold Wiki so it's available to everybody. So really, part of this, I want feedback too. Like if you know somewhere, hey, we need documentation on this, or we don't have good updated material on it, let's work together. We can get, Carolyn's awesome at that, and she can help us, really identify that and get that up to speed and up to date. Josh Tafoya, since I've taken over the training department, has really stepped up. I think a lot of you have seen the Sedona-X app videos that he's done and created. And if you haven't, we can share those with the team here. But they're really good, really short, concise, 7 videos, a 7-video series. He did a really good job with that. And we're starting to push more items to him. He's really kind of stretching out of his comfort zone into the Sedona Office side because he's a Manitou expert, really. But it's been fantastic seeing him kind of just step up to the plate and create some of those videos that are going to be great for our customers. You can, if a support call comes in or whatever, but hey, watch this video, and we're starting to use that for training too, to automate some of our training. So we're super excited about that as well. And if there are videos or other items that you think we need on particular modules or particular aspects of the software, let us know, and we can start working on that as well. So John, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you have the floor.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for having me do the Sedona-X mobile app. I'm going to turn off camera because I'm going to look at another screen and staring at an iPad. I go through this, but I'll turn it back on once we have open the floor up for questions here.
Right.
So let me share my screen. Perfect. I think everybody can see it now. So typically what I like to do is go through a quick little slide deck, just explaining a little bit about the Sedona-X mobile app. I'll go through the requirements that are needed, and then we'll talk about some features that are in the Sedona-X mobile app, and then we'll dive right in. The big thing that I like to hit on is it's now available for Google or Android products. So you can find it on the Google Play Store along with the Apple Store. For iOS devices, you need to be running iOS version 12 or newer, or Android version 10 or newer. A few system requirements. So the customer needs to be running Sedona Office version 6.1.0.55 as a minimum, Sedona Cloud API version 1.25 or greater. There are two migration paths that I like to talk about. One is the migration of moving your current FSU users over to Sedona Cloud. And what we'll do is help with the Sedona Cloud setup through some videos. You'll be able to add your current technicians from the Sedona Office database, and then we'll be able to run the migration tool. The only caveat that I like to explain is the migration tool is an all or nothing tool. So you can bring over all your technicians, or you'd only bring over none of them, basically. So if you're going to do them manually, we would show you how to set them up in Sedona Cloud. A few features. So we'll be going over the dashboard, job management, service tickets. What's new over the FSU is that there's a scheduler and calendar, customer management, and the capabilities of capturing a payment via a credit card or chip reader tool. Before I go right into the app, I'll just kind of highlight here are the chip readers or swipe tools that the customers can buy. This one is built for your Android devices. It fits right in your headphone jack. This one is for your iOS devices. I typically don't recommend either one of these. One, because my Android device doesn't even have a headphone jack. Two, I have no idea how long Apple is going to stick with this Lightning adapter. I have spoke with other customers that did end up purchasing this, and they were very disappointed because they can't utilize this with a case on their device.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to move or remove the case before using. What I do recommend is Bluetooth, right? I don't think Bluetooth technology is going anywhere. So if you want the bang for your buck and being able to use it over time, this is the option I would choose.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, I would recommend that as probably our only option as well, John, for the eDynamo.
Yep.
I think that's the core foundational piece that we're moving forward with. And I know, even Forte's, that's their main hardware piece of the puzzle. So
Perfect. Thanks, Travis.
Thanks.
So let me share my screen here. So this is the main dashboard of the mobile app. As you can see, it's going to get today's appointments here. They'll be able to view the calendar. In the side hand top corner is the menu bar that you'll be able to look up different jobs within here. So you have the capabilities of adding a job. You can filter and search. So by site name, address, and job number. Same thing with service tickets. So if you want to add a service ticket, or if you want to search by a ticket by site name, address, or ticket number, you have the capabilities of doing that. The calendar. So it automatically defaults to the month view, but you can click on day here and you can see all the different technicians that are scheduled for appointments today. So I can filter by removing them up at the top if I just wanted to see my appointments for today, or I can see where everybody is at or supposed to be. So I think this is a great view specifically for your operations manager, right? So they can be mobile in their pocket and they can go out to lunch, they can be wherever without having to crack open their laptop or find a desktop with Sedona Office running. So if there is an emergency, they can be mobile and visualize different things. You can change from a day view, week view, and again, here's the month view. At the bottom, if you hit the plus sign, this is where you can add a job or a service ticket. If you hit the filter button, again, this is where you can display only my appointments, toggle technicians, and service and jobs. Customers. So The users will be able to search on any customer within the Sedona database. Once they look up a customer, it's going to bring them right to the customer page. It'll show customer number right here. It'll let you know if they owe us any money, if they have any recurring, if they're set up on auto pay. If you need to take a method of payment or take a payment, you can do it right from this screen right here. Clicking on this. If you needed driving directions, you could hit this button. It's going to open up your native Maps application. So whether it's Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever device you're using, it'll open that up. And then if you're using your mobile device, you can dial right the app as well. Up at the top here, you'll see the customer sites. So this will be a listing of all the different sites within that customer. If you drill down further, you'll be able to see the systems as well. Service tickets. So if you need to see any type of historical service ticket history, it's all right here, where anyone can go in and see the resolution code, see notes on that ticket, whatever it may be. Jobs. So this is where you can visually see what's going on within the job. Installers and technicians are able to complete appointments within here. But you'd be able to see the different materials that are used on that job, install items, if there's any purchase orders, documents, and any customer notes. And if we scroll down a little bit further, here's the job info as well. And last but not least, if there's any customer notes on the customer, it'd be right here. Going back to the main menu, what I thought would be fun is just kind of going through the work of a service ticket. So if I'm a technician and on this screen, I'd be able to go ahead and hit the dispatch button. We'll update my time. From there, I could dive right into the ticket itself. Again, you could get the driving directions right here with your native Maps application. Once you arrive, you can hit the arrive button, click update. And this is where I'd go back into the ticket itself. You can now see the status of this ticket has moved to in press. It's going to give some customer site information at the top. And here's all the service ticket information. So the problem code is we're adding equipment. Estimated length is an hour or 120 minutes. There's some labor information along with any service comments. Up at the top, this is where you'd see appointment, which I'll come to in just a second. Notes. So this is where you can add any type of notes on the ticket. You can also utilize the microphone as well if you wanted to talk into this. It works great. Materials. So this is where we're going to add our part. Pick your quantity, hit save. It now adds it to the service ticket. History. So you can, technician could go back and look at the history. Customer notes, site notes are all listed right there. If you hit the ellipsis or the more button, this is where you'd be able to utilize your custom fields. Based off my conversations with customers, they didn't utilize custom fields for their technicians too much. I don't know if that was just because FSU didn't handle it that well or not, but I think it looks great as long as you have it. I think more and more technicians are going to start having to enter custom fields. The other option that I like under the other tab there is being able to view different documents, files, and being able to take pictures. So you can see up at the top, you can add any files you would like. You're also able to take a picture. If you hit the green button here, you can also view. So here's the job that was sold and that it was signed off on. So for this ticket, let's go ahead and just take a picture. Maybe I'm taking a picture of the panel. It's now in working condition. We'll go ahead and add that as a picture. Hit OK. And now there's our picture. Once the work has been done for this ticket, basically go right back into your appointment here. And now you're going to select your departure time. And you can see appointment resolution screen pops up. We're going to resolve this ticket. This is where the technician has the opportunity to toggle on and off, whether it's covered under warranty, covered under service level, or you want to override the labor. You have the option of getting a signature while you're out there, and then you also have to have the customer accept the terms and conditions. So I threw this in here last night thinking it was a great idea. So if you can get the customer to give you a rating on how your service was. Thought it was pretty cool, but hit accept. We're going to add the resolution code there where we're adding equipment. Hit save. Would you like to resolve the ticket? Yes. Now you can see that the status has moved to resolved on this ticket. It's also going to show right here that's been completed. A few more items where settings. This is where you can stay signed in. I know this has been a hot button with customers over with FSU, where they think they're logged in, but they're not. So I would recommend staying signed in. Also recommend the biometrics being enabled. We do have a few different appearances, such as a light mode, modern dark, and dark. And then this is where you would add that credit card swiper in the setup. What's great about this is every time you open up the app, it's going to automatically pair with that credit card swiper. So you don't have to mess around with the Bluetooth settings on your device every time. And that is basically it. Let's open up for questions.
I had a couple of questions. The first one on the notes, can you enter job notes that post to the job record?
If you're in a job, yes.
Can you show
So
us
you want me
that?
to?
I just want to make sure that we've included the note type in there for job notes, if they're actually writing to the job record. Okay, so you're gonna need to add the note type field on that, because that's a required field on the main app. Can't be null. And my second question is, when it comes to the
I'm
service
taking note of
labor,
that.
Yeah, we already have a work item to fix that, so it's
Okay.
definitely in the pipeline to get handled.
Okay, so on the service, when the technician's resolving the ticket, there were the 3 option buttons, whether it's covered by warranty, by the service level, or override. Are those permission controlled, or can every technician make that decision on their own?
They are permission controlled. It's just John is the company admin, so he pretty much has access to everything. But yes, they are permission controlled.
Right. Okay, that's all I've got.
On that same note with the overrides, I don't know if you noticed, in the old app, those flags were override service level and override warranty to force it to be billable. But I thought in the new app I saw it says covered by warranty or covered by a service level. So do they do the reverse, or is that just the wording?
Tom, do you know?
Yeah, I was just trying to understand the question a little bit better. Can you repeat it, Wayne?
Go back to the billing thing on the service ticket.
I don't think I can go back into it, being that it's resolved.
You have another one available?
Yeah, you just need to get this one to resolve point. We'll be able to see it. So just put in your arrive and your dispatch and arrive time.
So you want me to cancel this?
No, you do you not have the resolve button? You should if you have. Well, yeah, if you enter a completed time right now, you should have it. Oh, go into.
It's already
the other
resolved.
service ticket. My apologies. You have 2 service tickets, so close that one and go into the other one that you had in your list, the one that's you could still dispatch on. Okay, so let's dive into this one. So if you set your, yeah, you're going, you got it.
So those buttons right there where it says covered under warranty and covered under service level, on the old app that is override warranty and override service level. Because Sedona office thinks it's covered, but this particular service call isn't.
I think my guess is that's just a nomenclature label. I mean, we imitated that functionality the same. I think you were part of the meetings that when we were going through the requirements on that. So, so we just, I think it's a nomenclature misalignment.
The only other question I had was to stay logged in. I thought just to making sure that I confirmed correctly, one of the greatest advantages of the newest app is it doesn't use that VPN anymore. It just uses the API calls. With the old app, the reason why it was kept crashing is because if the VPN wasn't used for 30 minutes, it would just disconnect. What if they don't choose the stay logged in? Do they have to enter their password every time they log in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so this is vastly different than using a VPN. I mean, this is just using like any other app you download from the App Store. If the app stays in memory state, then you can keep using the app as is. If the REST API behind the scenes, if the token expires, then you need to relog in. And ideally, like John said, biometrics is the key, because as soon as you open that app, everything starts firing to either do facial recognition or use your fingerprint reader. So, so yeah, there's if it's open and you're at the view, you know you're safely going to be. You can hit customers and it's going to reconnect through the REST API. Otherwise, if you're at the login, then yeah, you log back in.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
John, in your example, you took a photograph on site. Can you show us where that picture shows in Sedona office? Sweet.
I might have missed, but did we just not enter a description for that, or did it not have an option for description for that? I didn't even notice that before.
It doesn't currently have an option for it, I don't believe, if memory serves me right.
Yeah, I don't think there is a description option. It's just picking the type.
We can totally open that up.
Yeah, we can certainly add that.
Add it to the backlog.
Yeah.
I mean, but isn't that why you take a picture? It's like
Sure.
1,000 words right there, right?
Love it. Love it.
I see what you did there.
Just Sedona-X gets funny when there's duplicate names and stuff like that, which is like on the old app, it would auto generate some bizarre number at the end of the image so that it would never repeat the image name.
Yeah, great question. I mean, some of these questions we can probably do outside the scope of this, but when we do that, are we grabbing the file name off of the native file structure of the device, Tom? Do you remember? Is it going to have image.jpg?
We're grabbing, well, I'll have to double check. I think on images, it might always just have image.jpg.
Okay.
On the files, if you grab a file, like a PDF, it's grabbing the name of the file off the file.
We should probably adjust the, I think there's metadata we could tie into on, that native, whatever, like iOS or Android is appending to that, photo 453. We can probably grab that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that could be really good because I mean, some customers could have multiple panels, or you've access control systems, or something like that. So
yeah, we'll update that so it's we can even make it so you can change the file name, is my guess. But all good, cool. Thanks, John.
Hey, Bryant and Michaela, I saw you guys had your hands up.
Yep. So I just wanted to jump in here. We did take a couple of these across the finish line. Prices, Keystone was one of them as well. But Prices did come back with some pretty detailed feedback with screenshots, etc. And Michaela wants to speak to that. So
yeah, let's not do that in this meeting. That's been, I got Tom involved, and so we'll address that outside of this. Let's keep this demo smooth and running on the internal training of what the app is. They're having errors and issues across the board with a few things.
But I think it's important to discuss that because support is on here and we're going to be asked those questions. So if it's something that we could understand better and see so we know how to address those questions, this is a good opportunity for us to do that.
Again, I think these meetings are meant to be smooth internal training meetings for redundancy and repeat of watching the video. So I think that could kind of elude it, but I'll let everyone else participate. If that's the route we want to go. John, do you have more of your demo? If not, yeah, I mean, we can go that route. That's fine too, Nava.
I mean, the only other thing that I was going to mention really quick is the API, where the customer can I did have it working. All right, we'll skip over that part.
It never works during the demo. That's the rule of thumb. Tom and Travis, I mean, I know you guys did a pretty extensive beta process, with some customers. Are there anything, maybe, prices might be too specific, but I mean, are there any other general items that support or implementations should be aware of, issue you guys have encountered or stuff you have on the roadmap to enhance within the app?
I mean, we're consistently, Tom's consistently doing new builds and adding value to the software, fixing bugs. I think the biggest thing we've seen is around, again, it goes back to that version alignment. Like, are they on the right versions of the API? Are they on the right versions of Sedona Office? And sometimes we've seen if the API is going into a suspended mode, and it's just a configuration issue of the IIS web service. We're seeing longer like load times. You know, if they're in the app and then they leave the app and come back and no one else has really touched that service, the Windows server is actually suspending the app pool, and so it's taking time to come back up. We're trying to work ways around to improve the performance there, but if they don't have it go into a suspended state, then performance stays good. So little tweaks here and there that I think we can work through, but overall, you know, we're just accelerating whatever comes in through the pipeline for bugs. We fix it, and we got releases just about every week or bi-weekly that are going into the App Store as alpha or internal testing, and then we release them to production.
All right, Travis, I agree with you. We can not get into those specifics on this. We can hold those and do a follow-up if we need to.
Okay.
I don't want to derail from that. Thank you.
Yep.
Were there any other questions about the video, especially from support? I know we always talk about needing to see this kind of stuff. So any feedback, any questions, anything we should document? Going once?
Error messaging. Is there a list of different errors that could, or error messages that could come up?
In the app?
Yes. Because we really love the what is it, error 13 message or something like that, that it doesn't make sense.
Could you give some more information on how you got that error?
It's just an example that we've come across, you know, just generic, you know, error messages. Are the error messages in the app more descriptive, or is it just generic, just like everything else?
I think she's hoping for some documentation, like a list of here are the possible error messages that we have, and this is what causes them.
Yeah, like type mismatch 13 or like a 94 invalid use and all. Is that what you mean, Renee?
I might be able to chime in on that one with a little bit more clarity. The existing Sedona FSU app wouldn't generate errors when things broke. It would not work. So we'd have to kind of retro engineer and find out things. But now that the new app uses the API, we know the API generates an error log that we could use in support to actually take a look at, you know, why it didn't work in the first place. So there's a potential of a lot easier troubleshooting with the new app than there was with the old. When we do finally get to that point where we're looking at the API error logs to try to figure out what might have potentially gone wrong with the app, is there a description on what those errors mean?
Yes. There you go.
There's no, we do not have a description of those. Those errors are actually just being thrown forward from Sedona Office, and you know, Sedona Office is logging and have those error messages. So.
Well, just to note, we do on the Abouts page, if you go there, or I think it's on the settings, it's either on settings or About, there is a view logs button where they can see the logs. It must be on the settings page, not the About, I'm sorry. So that helps too, and you are right, Wayne. The API does give much better errors on the app where it lets you know what exactly went wrong. So they could email this to support, and then on the development team, we can kind of look at it and get an idea of what happened.
Yeah, this is great. This is an amazing way for us to digest the unique issue that they're having. But what I'm referring to is we don't have like a legend of error code 13 equals, hey, the part dependency of this data is not correct. We don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But this still alone is a lot better than we had before, because we had nothing to work on before. There was no error logs of any kind.
Right.
It just did not work. So that alone is awesome.
Okay, so there's more logging, better logging than what we had before.
Oh yeah, across the board, we can actually capture. We're working on some toolings that will actually capture things behind the scenes and send them to our app management containers. So things like when we do test flight builds, we're able to capture a lot more information in that process and pipeline. So when we unlock new features, for instance, we're working through adding time and attendance for Q1 and into Q2 for Sedona Office, integrating it directly into this software. When we go into beta with that, we'll be able to collect a lot more information utilizing some of these application performance monitors. So yeah, I mean, it's leveraged to be and help us across the board in efficiency and just better understanding of how our products are being used.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so one of the things then a support should be doing is if the customer comes to us and say, hey, I'm having a trouble with this app, then first thing that we probably need to find out if it's not like a logging issue or login issue or something to that effect, that, okay, send us your error log so we can go ahead and look at it and send it over. If we can't see anything blaring, then we can send it over to development and say, here, this is what they're getting.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that should be taken offline, and that's a process control thing that we should talk further through.
Okay.
But yes, you're definitely on the right path. Absolutely.
That's great. These are all good questions. Anybody else?
I have just a basic question. When John uploaded that photo and you looked at it in Sedona Office, it had a management 3 restricted access. Is that the default? Because most people won't be able to view that.
Right.
Good catch.
So your service people looking at it probably won't be able to open it.
If memory serves me right, when we did this, that it will assign it to the level of whatever user is logged in. So since he is logged in as a company admin, that is the level it's going to be set to. If he was just a technician, it would be set to that level.
Okay.
That may be something that has to be in the documentation to advise that, because I'm sure we're going to get a lot of questions on, well, this tech or that tech can't see it, or if a supervisor goes out and takes pictures for whatever reason and they're level 3, well, now the tech's going out and say, wait a minute, I can't see your picture.
For reference, the other app, it's an admin setting where they can put the default level for the documents, and then as the technician is taking the picture, where they choose the doc type and description, they have also the ability to change the level at that time. Just for reference.
Right. Thanks, Michelle. Good question. Anybody else have any other questions or comments for John on the demo?
I thought it was awesome. I'm totally stoked. There are so many new features in this app that the other one didn't have that people have been begging for. This is a massively awesome product. I'm stoked.
Love it.
I agree with you, Wayne. I mean, you look at Josh's demo videos they did. I mean, it just looks super slick, and Travis and Tom and the whole development team worked really hard on this and really did the full beta process with customers and the feedback. I mean, it was just a really good win for the company.
Yep. John, great job demoing too. Maybe I'll have some of our developers learn from you how to demo so we can be smoother. It's a professional development exercise for the dev team.
Yeah, that's right.
So on Monday during supports L10, we'll have some time to digest, and if we have any additional questions, I can get those back to Tom Utley and the team and see if we can add anything more to that.
Right. Well, listen, I want to respect everybody's time. I know everybody's busy, and we had an hour block for these, but if we get through everything in 45 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, then I want to turn everybody loose to have a happy Friday. But just last call for questions or anything you wanted to ask John about customer interaction or what they're expecting. One thing I appreciated, John, was your versions that the customer need to be on in order to use the app, because that's something that we try and communicate in the kickoff call and our implementation process, that obviously there's some time here for some upgrades and that kind of thing, and the customer needs to be aware of that.
Yeah, and stay tuned. And well, I shouldn't say stay tuned. Keeping your eye on the Bold Wiki, because we do have that version matrix. As new features come out, we'll be updating that version matrix and compatibility. So great stuff.
Yeah, and I think Renee was asking about documentation. We have all this on Bold Wiki. Sarah is going to upload those videos to Bold U, so that, you know, our customers can access them there. But we also have those videos to send out to customers as a, you know, kind of automated training, and they seem to be working well. So, yeah, it's all available. It's out there. You know, Bold Wiki is, again, a great resource. Carolyn's, you know, spending a lot of time updating that, especially on the Sedona office side. And then Bold U, we continue to flesh that out, you know, with courses and more videos as we get those in, and Josh creates those. So
I have a question.
Yeah, I guess.
Sure, Tammy.
Travis, you were saying that that a lot of times when we're running into issues, it's related to them not having the right versioning in place with some of those dependencies. Do we have a list of those dependencies somewhere so that we can know what we're looking for?
So two things. The dependencies was me just an example of the error log legend code. The dependencies of versions is the critical piece. And yes, that's that matrix I was just talking about. And also what John showed in the beginning of this demo. That's been kind of that's been the key thing that as we went through the beta with a few customers, this is where we struggled until Tom helped get them upgraded, or vice versa, you know, whatever needed to get done on API side or Sedona office side. Once they were in alignment, yeah, everything was much smoother.
And Tammy, this is something, you know, as these projects come in, I mean, that's something we're immediately checking is what version they're on, you know, communicating that to the customer. So through our new United IT department, those are all processed as tickets with the customer and you know, project managed through that process.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that. So typically, as I'm going through this slide here, everyone's checking their version immediately to see if they're eligible, right, at this moment in time. Majority of them are not. And when they find this out that they're either on 5.7 or an early version of 6.0 or something like that, this is when typically I'll say, oh, we'll have to get at least expertise involved. There's like a 30-minute call that you'd like to have with you about the EFT processing and how it changed. So they're well aware, or I'm teeing it up for Lisa basically. Hey, they got through this process, they got to sign off. They understand everything before they make that jump, and that they can use the mobile.
Yeah, and John too, just so you're aware, you know, on our side with Carolyn and with Lisa, we're working on some just easier, more digestible documentation for that process and a video, so that hopefully we get to the point where customers can go through this on their own, and we can schedule Lisa for questions and concerns, but not, you know, walking through the whole process. So we're trying to accelerate that process too and get customers more engaged. So Carolyn's working on that with Lisa right now. So hopefully soon we'll have something that'll help enable that process and speed it up.
Okay. Yeah, just let know when that process is.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? Any other questions? Or John, it was really great to see it. Thank you. I appreciate your time. And you know, next week we'll have Justin on here doing the full demo of Sedona office. So just super excited again. Anybody has any feedback or suggestions for topics going forward, please let me or Nava know, and we'll try and get them into the pipeline.
Eat popcorn for next week's class.
That's right. Yeah. Popcorn in the morning, it's not always the best though. So
it's corn. It's healthy. It's a vegetable.
All right. Well, guys, thanks so much. John, thank you again for taking the time. Great to see everybody on here. Great to see such a strong showing for the first kickoff call. We'll see you again next week at the same time. And whoever can join, you know, please join. It'll be Justin showing the full demo of Sedona office as he would to a customer. And then we'll just keep rocking and rolling.
Yeah, these are great. Thanks for putting this together, Greg. You know, team that started putting the Sedona universities together. I think this is really good engagement for the company to start learning our products, and a good platform to do it on. So
yeah, absolutely. And you know, Travis, I didn't mention, I mean, many of you are going to be called up to do these kind of demos, so buckle up.
Remember, we got all of us got to do the professional development of demoing. So
that's right. Yeah.
Be careful with how we demo, you know.
All right, guys. Well, listen, have a happy Friday. and a great weekend, and we'll see y'all next week.
Awesome. Take care, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Right.